Hello everyone, I'm Weston, I love talking about the Astros, and welcome to the second annual Astro Awards. This is your little New Year's Eve treat. I'm going to look at the past year for the Houston Astros and give out all the awards. The MVP, the Cy Young, Rookie of the Year. I'm going to do some other ones, Game of the Year, Low Point, which I'll get to eventually. So let's not waste time, let's get into the meat and potatoes. MVP, the crown jewel for the awards. My pick is Kyle Tucker. Kyle Tucker had an incredible season, a 147 WRC+, which was the best on the team, had 37 doubles, 30 home runs, so well over 60 extra base hits. He had a crazy good season, slashed 294, 359, 557, and he had all of those numbers, right? A 147 WRC+, with one of the most unlucky starts to a season in recent memory. Not just for Astros hitters, for hitters, period. His expected numbers are bananas. I mean, he had a magnificent year offensively, and then you can talk about, defensively. 89th percentile in outs above average, according to Baseball Reference. And back to those offensive statistics, expected batting average, 99th percentile. League-wide, 99th percentile. I think he was top 10 in that statistic. And expected WOBA, he was in the 95th percentile. Kyle Tucker had an incredible season offensively, an incredible season defensively. He was pretty darn good on the base paths. The Astros have a potential five-tool player, and a guy who, if he hadn't just been that unlucky in the first couple months, genuinely would have competed for the MVP, not of the team, but league-wide. He had a crazy good season, and man, oh man, I cannot wait to see him next year, hopefully with a hot start. The Cy Young Award, I'm going to go with my boy, Lance McCullers Jr. A great season, easily his best to this point of his career. A 3.16 ERA, best on the team by far. 185 strikeouts, a 136 ERA plus, and a whip at 1.220. He had a great season. This is a big telling statistic for Lance McCullers Jr. with how dominant he was with his pitches this season. He led the team with 12 games of 8 or more strikeouts. He had 12 of them for reference. Second place was Luis Garcia with 6. That's not to denigrate Luis Garcia. I might talk about him in a minute, who's to say. But Lance McCullers had a magnificent season coming off of an offseason where he signed an extension. The Astros just love giving pitchers extensions and then that pitcher going on to have the best year of their career. They did it with Verlander, maybe not the best year of his career, but a pretty darn good one. And now with Lance, a great year by McCullers. I am just another player I'm so excited to see next year. Rookie of the Year. It's no shock. It's Luis Garcia, a man who actually finished as the runner-up in league-wide Rookie of the Year voting. Luis Garcia had a fantastic second year, well, rookie year, but, he pitched like 4 games last year. He had a great rookie year. He was fantastic. He slumped a little bit down the stretch, and that hurt his numbers. I think if he would have not gone into that, I really think he would have won Rookie of the Year. And that's not to take away Randy Arozarena at all. He had a magnificent season, but man, was Luis Garcia pretty darn good. 3.48 ERA, 167 strikeouts, a 123 ERA plus, and a whip at 1.178. He had a magnificent rookie campaign. I'm going to say this pretty much with all of them. Another player that I am ecstatic to watch next year and see him develop, hopefully in a rotation that has other up-and-comers like Christian Javier. The rotation could be fun for years to come, guys. On the topic of pitchers, let's head to relief pitching. The Relief Pitcher of the Year award. I wonder who's going to... It's Ryan Presley. You already knew it was going to be Ryan Presley. He was one of the best relief pitchers league-wide, let alone on the Astros. He was magnificent. A 2.25 ERA, a 2.06 FIP, 81 strikeouts, a K per 9 of 11.39. Magnificent. A 191 ERA plus and a sub-1 whip at 9.69. Mwah! What a season Ryan Presley had. Magnificent. Another all-star campaign. He was magnificent this season. A complete return to form to the old Ryan Presley that we knew and love, and it was absolutely fantastic to see. The next award, one of my own creation, the Nerd Award, which is not denigrating for the player, more so fans of the sport like myself. This award is to the guy who had the sabermetric numbers that we talked about. The ones that you hear some stat nerds going, no guys, I promise you, he's a good player. You gotta look at the expected numbers. You gotta look at FIP. That guy, it's Brooks Raley. Who else? The ex-merchant himself. A really good underlying season, but with an ERA that made you wench a little bit. Actual ERA at 4.78. Not too good. But then you get into the expected numbers. An expected ERA of 3.87, which you get that from having the best exit velocity allowed league-wide. Easily. He was magnificent in that statistic. Then you get to FIP. Drops down to 3.27. Then you get to expected FIP, and it drops to 2.90. A sub-3 FIP, guys! Are you looking at the numbers I'm looking at? Genuinely devastated that the ex-merchant is now on his way to Tampa Bay, where, I mean, to be fair, he's going to fit in there because he's quintessentially a Tampa Bay Ray from the advanced numbers. I wish him nothing but the best, but man, it hurts to see him go. The next two are relatively easy to knock out. The Silver Slugger, it's going to be Kyle Tucker. Again, all the reasons I previously stated. He had a fantastic year offensively. Would have been even better if he would have gotten off to a hot start in April and a little bit into May. The Gold Glove. I had it initially as another player, but I ended up going with Carlos Correa. And I was going to give it to McCormick because I really thought he had a great season, and he did have a wonderful season. But man, Correa was something else. 98th percentile and outs above average according to Baseball Savant. 20 defensive runs saved, which led all shortstops, not in the American League, all of them. All MLB shortstops he led in. He had a great year. And I would have felt pretty bad if I left Correa completely off the awards list. He had a wonderful season. Easily the second for team MVP, by the way. But defensively, Correa had a wonderful season. I kind of hope we get him back. Next up, Comeback Player of the Year award. It's the mini GOAT. Jose Altuve is easily the Comeback Player of the Year for the Astros. Man, what a difference a year makes. Last season, right, Altuve unjustly the face of the cheating scandal, which was gut-wrenching to see for Astros fans because he was quite literally the only clean player on the team that didn't do it. Last season, a 75 WRC+. That is bad. There's no other way to put it. That is a real bad offensive season. Batted a 219, and granted that isn't the full story, but a 286 on-base percentage kind of tells you the full story, especially with a 344 slugging. It was just a bad year. Defensively, he was awful. And I love Altuve, so I am not slandering him at all, but that was a rough season. This year, somehow this season, getting fans back in the stadiums, he completely rebounded. A 130 WRC+, batted 278, a 350 OBP, a 489 slugging, hit 30 home runs. Altuve was back, jumped his walk rate back up by over 1%, and dropped the strikeouts by 5%. It was a magnificent return to form for Jose Altuve. I know we will never fully silence them and they will always still be there, but to make a lot of haters and a lot of the people that booed and cursed his name have to shut up at least for an at-bat or two. Altuve was back this season and it was magnificent to see. Next up, the Shock of the Year. I put Altuve in the Comeback Player of the Year award because Altuve had been a great player for nearly a decade, and so that was clearly a dip in production. However, Shock of the Year could also have been Comeback Player of the Year award, but I think he better suits the shock category. La Piña. Yuli Gurriel, at an older age, I might add, absolutely shocked all of Astros fans this season. He won the batting title with a batting average of .319 for the American League, which obviously led. He won a Gold Glove. You can argue if that was warranted or not. I don't care. I think it was. I think it's really hard to give actual defensive metrics to a first baseman. I think for first base, I really think it needs to be the eye test, and he passed that one with flying colors. A 134 WRC+, and a triple slash of, like I said, 319, 383, and 462. Yuli Gurriel, who I love Yuli, but everyone sort of knew he's getting older. Maybe the 18 and 19 seasons are sort of the outliers, and now we're going to see him sort of dip in production like we did in 2020. And he said, "No! I'm not going to dip," and instead took off. He was one of the best first basemen league-wide this year. He had a crazy good season offensively. And Yuli Gurriel, one of the oldest players, I believe the oldest player since Bonds to win the batting title. What a season La Piña had. If you would have told me 3 years ago that I would one day make a YouTube video wearing an Astros jersey, a blazer, and big, bold pineapple glasses, I probably would have believed you because that really seems like something I would do. And now, for a moment, let's step away from the good, happy things like comeback player and shock of the year, the letdown of the year. I hate to make an award for this, but I kind of had to talk about it. Joe Smith. If you guys watched my videos in 2020, which don't go back and rewatch them, they are not good. I'm not saying I do good stuff now, but they're better than they were then. I hyped up Joe Smith a lot in 2020. I talked about how nice it would have been to have him on in the bullpen, have him here. I totally understood why he wasn't, but I'm like, man, if we had him back, we would be unstoppable right now. And he came back this year, and in 27 games, posted a 7.48 ERA. Yikes, that is rough. A 1.800 whip, which is not good. Now, granted, the FIP does drop the ERA pretty significantly, right? By 2.5 runs, it drops it. But when your FIP still is at almost 5 at 4.97, it's not looking too good. I like Joe Smith a lot. I, again, totally understand why he passed on the 2020 season. But man, I was hyped out of my mind for him this season, and he did not play well for the Astros. And then he would go to the Mariners and have somewhat of a better season, but still not great. But man, seeing Joe Smith flounder with the Astros this year was pretty gut-wrenching for me. So those are all the player awards, but now we're going to look at more team-focused awards, right? So this is the clutch moment of the year. And I was going to say it one way, I was going to say it the other. I'm going to make it the both of them. The 8th and 9th innings of Game 4 of the ALCS against the Boston Red Sox. So, ALCS, Game 1, you win, right? Cool, you take a 1-0 lead. Then you drop Game 2 in embarrassing fashion, allowing 2 grand slams in the first 2 innings, and you end up being down 8-0 after 2. It was an embarrassment in Game 2. Game 3, kind of a similar story. You give up another grand slam, first team in history to allow 3 grand slams in an LCS game. That was, it was not a fun time to be an Astro in those couple of days. Game 4, it's must win. You take an early lead, right? First inning, Bregman homers, it's 1-0. Then, the Red Sox get a pair in the bottom half, and it's scoreless for a very long while. 8th inning, Altuve comes to bat, with the Boston crowd chanting F. Altuve, homers, to tie it at 2. Then the 9th inning happens, Jason Castro with a massive double to set up a 7-run inning for the Houston Astros, and they completely swing momentum back in favor of us. In what could have been basically the death blow in that game. If Boston takes a 3-1 lead, and they have Game 5 in Boston, who knows if the Astros had to somehow win 3 in a row to, actually advance. Who knows? It was such an important moment right there to win us the pennant, which sort of happened in that game. That was the game that won us the pennant. Yeah, I get that Game 5 and 6 had to happen, but it was Game 4 that really put us back in the driver's seat of that series. So the final 2 awards are the best game of the year and the worst game of the year. I want to end on a positive note, so let's discuss the worst game played by the Houston Astros this season. Oh boy. There's only one game that can take this award. I'm not going to go with the obvious, right? The low-hanging fruit is, one of the Boston games or a World Series game, because sure, maybe those hurt more losing the World Series than this one, but no game made me, and I think most Astros fans, as infuriated as Monday, July 26th against the Mariners. The Astros begin this game how the Astros often do, completely opening a can of whip-ass on the Mariners, taking a 6-0 lead in the first inning on a rookie pitcher in his second game. And I vividly remember, because I was watching this and my mom was in the kitchen, and she said, "Hey Wes, what's the score?" And I said, "It's 6-0. I kind of hope we stop scoring because I feel bad for the kid." Turns out we should have kept scoring because we blew it! We would end up actually taking a 7-0 lead over the Mariners. But then, these aren't your grandpa's Mariners. They came marching back, capping it at the point when Brooks Raley comes into an 8-7 game and gives up a grand slam. Oh boy, that was quite the game. That was quite the video. I want to say that's one of my top 5, I know it's top 10 most viewed videos on the channel, simply titled Collapse. And that was just, boy, you could have steeped tea on my head from how mad I was after that game. Fear not, I am not a masochist. We're going to end it on a happy note. The game of the year for the Houston Astros. Game 91, Astros host the Yankees. On what seems like a normal Sunday, the Astros are playing the Yankees. The previous two games, we had gotten completely embarrassed. 4-0 by the Yankees on Friday night, and 1-0 in a Garrett Cole domination on Saturday evening. We got cold. It was two awful games in a series that you really wanted to dunk on them because the giveaways were the 2019 ring, the 2019 trophy, and Sunday was Jose Altuve jersey giveaway. Three things that, if they sweep the series, you're going to kind of look like the fools here. And, man, it seemed like that. It seemed like we were going to be a laughing stock for a moment there. You're down 5-2 in the bottom of the ninth. It's pretty much, it seems over. If you watch the video where I recapped this game, I mentioned I was recording a loss video. I was recording a video where I was pretty upset, complaining about another loss, because I had to be out of the house by like 5:45, and this game was still going on, and I'm like, it's over. We're down 5 runs in the ninth. I'm not going to wait an extra 5 minutes to make the video. I got to go. And then the comeback began, and you can see my live reaction. Actually, I deleted that video. The one of me being upset about it, where I slowly start to change and be like, oh, well, we scored a run, so I guess, we only lost by 4, big whoop. Oh, we only lost by 2. Oh, we might make a comeback here, ladies and gentlemen. And then I had the foresight to record the live reaction. That is game 91. That was such a good game. That is easily the game of the year. If you don't think it was, you're kind of kidding to yourself. And that is it. Those are all my awards. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. I absolutely had a blast making it. Happy New Year to everyone. Hopefully when this video goes up, I will be enjoying the sights and sounds of the Rangers Lightning game over in Tampa. And that's all I have to say. So, thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic day. Have a safe and exciting New Year's Eve and New Year. I'll see you guys next year. And as always, go Stros.